Coming up on OU Nightly, fire danger for most of the state. I'll have the details coming up.
And getting into the academy, what it takes to earn a Norman police badge. Plus, a lawsuit filed after the McDonald's E. coli outbreak gets linked to at least one death. This is OU Nightly.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Abigail Franklin.
And I'm Brooke Griggs. We begin tonight with record-breaking temperatures across the state.
It's the end of October, but it feels like summer. So let's go ahead and get right over to OU Nightly meteorologist Scotty Allen. Scotty, how long is this warm stretch going to last us?
Yeah, that's right. With these record-breaking temperatures, gusty winds, and the drought that we've been increasing, we have a fire danger. And the National Weather Service here in Norman has issued a red flag warning from Elk City all the way up to Tulsa that expires tonight at 10 p.m. Now, how can you mitigate these risks? OU Nightly's John Hornack has spoken with the Oklahoma Forestry Department. John, what can you tell us?
Hey, yeah, Scotty. So, this unseasonable heat comes with some seasonable risks. See these crunchy leaves like this, blowing away in the wind. They're all crunchy. They're just looking to start a fire, and then there's currently 4 fires burning around Oklahoma right now, and there's been 17 so far this month. And I spoke with the Oklahoma Forestry Department about ways to prevent some of these fires, from going on.
Anybody out there considering doing intentional burning prescribed fires, I'd really hope they would wait to do that. Now, in nearly the entire state, it's just not a good time to do it.
So the Forestry Department says, be careful when dealing with some of these fires in the outdoors. Just be careful around all this stuff. Scotty?
Thank you, John. As you can see, it's breezy out there and those dry conditions, so please do not start any fires across the state. And right now we have these record-breaking temps. Yesterday we shattered that record, 90 degrees, that was previously set at 89. And today we're approaching the record that was set back in 2003 of 91 degrees. It's currently 90 degrees there in Oklahoma City. So coming up next, we've got fire danger, a weekend cool down, and what's coming up right here, Weather Fest forecast.
Thanks, Scotty. We'll see you in a few. And breaking news coming into our newsroom this afternoon, the LA County District Attorney's Office is about to announce a resentencing in the case of Eric and Lyle Menendez. OU Nightly's Cariana Gambona is watching this story from the newsroom. Cariana.
Brooke, the district attorney recommends the brothers be eligible for parole immediately. We will have to wait to see if a judge agrees. Eric and Lyle Menendez were convicted of murdering their parents more than 3 decades ago. The brothers did not deny killing their parents, but argued they should not be convicted because they acted in self-defense after enduring a lifetime of abuse by their father. They also filed a motion asking the court to reconsider because of new evidence. As soon as the judge makes a formal ruling, we will bring it to you. For now, in the newsroom, Cariana Gamboa, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Cariana. We'll continue to follow this case in our newsroom. Back here in Norman, the police department is searching for new officers, but earning the badge is an involved process. We spent the day with the department to learn what it takes to become a police officer. To earn the badge.
It's definitely a serious choice to make.
It is a journey.
It's a very long process.
All a part of the steps to becoming a police officer.
You have to be patient. If you really want to pursue this career field, if you're really serious about it, I think Norman is a good place for it. We're not too big, not too small. There's still a lot of opportunity.
In order to even apply, there are certain qualifications.
Per the state pension system, they need to be between the ages of 21 to 45. They need to have a driver's license. They need to have no prior felony convictions. And be in a good mental state to be able to make good decisions.
Once the initial application is accepted, you begin a 7-step process ranging from physical and mental evaluations to background checks.
And once they complete all those steps, after about 4 to 6 months, then they're given a final offer to go into our police academy.
Opening the door to mastering laws,
9 times out of 10, they're aggravated.
Firearms, vehicle operation.
This is a fairly new car.
arrests,
Grab here and from here.
and much more, all leading to earning the badge.
I can move him.
So once they complete the academy, they are given a pretty significant bump in pay, and they'll immediately go into field training with a field training officer, which lasts approximately 4 months. And then they'll be out on their own, assigned to a beat on a shift as a full-fledged police officer.
Norman Police Department is accepting applications until October 27th, and information on requirements and how to apply can be found on newnormancops.com.
Now turning to politics, we are just under 2 weeks away from Election Day. OU Nightly's Willie Gillespie has an eye on politics from our election center. Willie.
Yeah, Brooke, like you said, we're just 2 weeks away from election night here in America, and Maryland is the latest state to begin early voting. Polling locations opened there this morning, and they're not the only ones. According to CBS News, 47 states and the District of Columbia offer early voting. Early voting in the Sooner State begins Wednesday, October 30th, with polling locations opening at 8 a.m. On the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris appeared on a CNN town hall last night. Former President Donald Trump was also invited, but did not appear. Harris spoke about his no-show.
Yet again, Trump not showing up, refused to be a part of a CNN debate, and clearly his staff has been saying he's exhausted, and the sad part about that is he's trying to be president of the United States.
And Harris continued her campaign stops today in Atlanta. As for Trump, he's talking about what one of his first moves would be if he's reelected. He commented on a conservative talk show this morning that he would fire special counsel Jack Smith, quote, within 2 seconds if elected. Smith is the special counsel who brought federal charges of conspiracy, among others, against Trump. And if you're looking to learn more about the upcoming election, you can check out a moderated discussion here on campus tonight held by the OU Economics Club. It's in the Gaylord Hall Auditorium at 6 p.m. A busy few weeks ahead. Brooke, Abigail, back to you.
Thanks, Willie. A lawsuit is filed against McDonald's for an E. coli outbreak, killing one person and leaving dozens sick. CNN's Michael Yoshida has more on the outbreak.
A Colorado man is suing McDonald's for an E. coli outbreak linked to the Golden Arches' famous Quarter Pounders.
The hottest, juiciest Quarter Pounder yet.
According to the lawsuit, the man bought and ate food from his local McDonald's in early October. 2 days later, he got sick and ended up in the emergency room, and later was diagnosed with E. coli. The man's lawsuit accuses McDonald's of product liability, negligence, and breach of implied warranties.
Consumers go to restaurants not expecting to get poisoned.
Attorney Bill Marler is representing 2 patients who fell ill in Nebraska. So far, the E. coli outbreak has led to at least 49 illnesses in at least 10 different states, including 1 death. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration says beef patties or slivered onions on Quarter Pounder sandwiches are the likely source of the contamination.
If it is found that the onion supplier supplied them contaminated onions, so they can say, yes, it's my fault, I served you the hamburger, but the onion supplier needs to pay for it.
Sorry, we don't have the Quarter Pounders at the moment.
McDonald's has not responded to a request for comment about the lawsuit, but it has taken Quarter Pounders off the menu in about 1/5 of its stores. The fast food icon has also stopped using the onions and Quarter Pound beef patties in several states as the investigation continues.
I hope these steps demonstrate McDonald's commitment to food safety.
In Washington, I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
The Oklahoma State Department of Health says there are currently no cases reported across the state.
We'll still ahead on OU Nightly, 2 confirmed cases of bird flu.
How the CDC is tracking the infection.
Plus knowing the signs.
What a new study suggests you should look for with concussions when we return.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
When we have the food we need, we are at our best. We push further. We rise higher. We unlock our full potential. When we have the food we need, we make our communities stronger. Together, we can help everyone get the food they need to thrive. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Questions over a new case of bird flu in a person. Plus, new numbers show a sharp increase in child obesity in the U.S. OU Nightly's Savannah Simmons has the details in today's Health Beat.
Yes, ladies, the CDC says blood testing in Missouri reveals a second person has contracted bird flu, but was not exposed to an infected animal. Health officials say the source of the virus remains a mystery, but say that patient lived in the same home as the previously reported case. It's not clear whether the virus can be passed person to person yet. This year alone, more than 24 people have tested positive for bird flu. The number of kids and teens with obesity has jumped over the past 2 decades, according to the report from the CDC. 14% of children between 2 and 19 had obesity in 2000. That number sharply increased to 21% last year. Some doctors says factors like access to fresh fruits and vegetables can contribute to the surge in numbers. A common gesture could be a telling sign of a concussion. A new study says a quick shake of the head after a hard hit could signal that a person has a head injury. Some researchers say recognizing this could help reduce the number of undiagnosed concussions. And lead paint dust in your home could lead to lasting health effects. The EPA warns prolonged exposure could hurt brain development. Ladies?
Thanks, Savannah. Coming up, the Norman Fire Department is working to have quicker response times.
How a new device is helping firefighters take down flames faster when we return.
How long are these record temperatures going to be lasting? I'll have more coming up.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and to support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Right now we have a fire danger outlook issued by the Storm Prediction Center right here in Norman. And with this fire danger outlook, that means do not be burning. We have risk of wildfires. Right now we have a red flag warning from Elk City all the way up to Tulsa. That means that there's really prevalent conditions for wildfires being initiated because of these dry conditions and also because of these wind gusts that we're having because of this cold front coming through. And right now we have almost 40-mile-per-hour winds up there in northwestern Oklahoma. The winds are really cranking, 30 miles per hour here in Norman. And with these winds, right now we have possibly relief. It's a beautiful sunny day right here in Norman. Right now current temperatures are 89 degrees, really close to that record high that was set back in 2003. Right now feels like 86. Dew points are dry, 52 degrees. And then as we look here with our current temperatures across the state, all near record highs for this time of year, all around 90 degrees. It's feeling like summer when it's supposed to be feeling like fall as we're almost near Halloween. And right now with the drought monitor, the Norman bubble has now closed as we now are under a drought here in Norman because of the new rain relief that we've had. And there's a lot of extreme drought, especially here in Norman, or there in Lawton. And really high risk of drought with this dry conditions. Now with this cold front that's going to be coming through, it's not bringing rain, but will bring some relief tomorrow with temperatures in the 70s, still above average for this time of year, but much more relief with those 90s that we've been seeing. Now for Saturday, we're looking forward to the National Weather Festival. So if you're not going out to the game in Mississippi to watch your Sooners play the Ole Miss Rebels, come out and come to the National Weather Center here on campus and see me as a weather superhero as I was last year right here. That's me, weather superhero, and me and my weather friends will be weather superheroing it up and talking about how to be safe from weather. So make sure to come out to the National Weather Festival. It's going to be 54 degrees at 8 a.m. and it's going to be going up to the 70s, so it's going to be feeling pretty nice on Saturday, so make sure to come out and instead of going and supporting the Sooners for football, come and enjoy the weather. And for our 7-day forecast, we're going to be having that relief for this weekend, but it's going to be warming back up for the end of the week, so really much better to be looking forward to this weather festival on Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's at the Weather Center, is it not? Right down the street?
Right here down the street, down on Jenkins. So go from the stadium down south to the National Weather Center.
And I know you said you had a weather costume. What was that costume? I can't really see.
I'm going to be Captain Cumulus. So I'll be talking about how clouds form and all of that. And we got a whole bunch of other weather superheroes with talking about lightning risks and all sorts of other weather hazards.
All right, that's great. Thanks, Scotty. So while the Norman Fire Department hopes to create a faster fire response and less property damage with the new program, the Knox box is a tamper-proof box mounted to buildings containing the keys to the property. Only Norman Fire Departments can unlock the boxes using equipment that requires a passcode and electronic key to open. All Norman fire trucks are equipped with the system. Aaron Easter with the department says commercial buildings in Norman are required to have the system.
We are hoping that every existing building or business in Norman will jump on board here and add this system to help us make entry in emergency situations.
Easter says the first buildings being constructed with this system should open in the next few months. The Knox box is available for residential use as well. And the Thunder opens their 2024 NBA season tonight against the Denver Nuggets.
Barbara, you're here in studio. What can you tell us? What are our fans going to be looking forward to the most?
It'll probably be a certain someone the Thunder is competing against. But speaking of a certain someone, are my eyes deceiving me right now? Is that Drake Stoops? I'll introduce you to the latest Sooner standout receiver next in sports.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut. The one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink. Or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking. Now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed. Better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead. Catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater.
Darby McCormick, and it's time for sports. With so much change to OU football's coaching staff, you can rely on the injury report to stay the exact same. 4 wide receivers, 2 defensive backs, and 1 offensive lineman are all out for the Ole Miss game, with running back Gavin Sawchuk labeled as doubtful and Deion Burks labeled as questionable. All the wide receivers out has allowed players like Jacob Jordan to step up and compete for the Sooners. Well, we're experiencing some technical difficulties right now, but even with their own injuries, let's head over to the Thunder, who's looking forward to fire on all cylinders for their season opener against the Denver Nuggets, who will also start their season in the Mile High City. The Thunder square off against a familiar face in Russell Westbrook, who was with OKC for 11 seasons. But let's keep things on the court with adding a little bit of Sooner magic to the mix with Atlanta guard Trae Young and Warriors guard Buddy Hield. Young led the Hawks in points with 30 and also assists with 12 in a 120-116 win over the Nets. Hield scored 22 points in just 15 minutes off the bench for the 139-104 victory against the Trailblazers. Now let's bring it back to the LNC, where the OU women's basketball team was picked 4th in the preseason SEC coaches poll. Some other coaches' picks to note are junior center Reagan Beers, labeled as a first-team All-SEC member, and redshirt senior Skylar Vann as a second-team All-SEC member. In McCaslin Fieldhouse last night, OU volleyball learned how to hang 10, or 3 sets that is, on the Alabama Crimson Tide. This is the team's first sweep in SEC play. Junior outside hitter Alexis Shelton had a match-high 11 kills and notched her 21st straight match with double-digit kills. But there was another shutout just down Jenkins Avenue at Loves Field. OU softball took on Seminole State, coached by former Sooner Amber Flores, in front of 1,508 Sooner fans, a new fall ball record. OU won 10-0 in the first 6-inning game and 5-0 in the last 4-inning game. Abigail, Brooke?
Well, thanks, Darby. Still ahead, a parent's worst nightmare becoming a reality on the way home from a child's birthday party.
Yeah, see how strangers driving by came to the rescue for this family in need. Coming up next.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
I'm an ex-drug dealer, and I'll be your sub today. 2 milligrams of fentanyl can be lethal. A lethal dose is in here. Who gets it, I won't know.
It's cheap, it's potent, and it's profitable. The sad reality is, fentanyl is being mixed into everything now.
More kitchen now.
We said we'd never break the 3-second rule. Never do that. And never become a minivan mom.
Hey, Chris.
As parents, we say never a lot, but never happens. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Daily updating you from the newsroom. President Joe Biden announcing this afternoon he's issuing a formal apology over the Indian boarding schools that lasted for generations, leading to the deaths of nearly 1,000 indigenous children. Oklahoma was home to 87 of those boarding schools. This is the first time a president has issued an apology for the policy's impact on tribal nations. President Biden is set to meet with a tribal leader tomorrow in Arizona. Abigail Brooke, back to you.
Thanks, Madison. Well, 2 parents had to act fast after their 3-year-old started choking.
Yes, the family pulled into a median to try and dislodge a candy when other cars started to take notice.
Strangers blocked off the highway as the parents did everything they could to help the child, even turning her upside down.
As a last resort, the parents grabbed a life vac device out of their car that ended up saving their daughter's life.
It's really amazing. Those devices, they do a lot. I've seen a lot of those on social media. But we're taking one last check of the weather. Scotty, what do you have for us?
Yeah, right now we have that fire danger for western Oklahoma because of these high wind gusts and record high temperatures. So right now, as you can see, we have that red flag warning issued by the National Weather Service here in Norman, from Elk City all the way almost up to Miami. So from the southwestern corner all the way to the northeastern corner, seeing this fire danger. So please make sure you don't have any fires, because it's really dry out there. And then I'll look for the 7-day forecast here. We're going to be cooling off for this weekend before temperatures get a little bit more in the 80s. But then as we go to Halloween, maybe that 65 will stick around and be a nice fall-like day for Halloween. And maybe trick-or-treating will be fun and really dressing up in our costumes. So yeah, that should be fun.
I see that 65 looks really nice. Is trick-or-treating still a thing? I don't think it is, but
I'm putting a bowl out for the kids that come to my house.
Okay, because I love me some trick-or-treating.
Are we dressing up? I know you're
I might buy my own candy for this year.
Yeah. You guys dressing up? He's got
yeah, with my weather friends, we have a trunk or treat at the National Weather Center.
Well, thank you for watching OU Nightly. I am Brooke Griggs.
Be sure to watch tomorrow at 4:30 for more news and Big Friday Sports. Good night.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives.